Good evening, everybody, or morning, or afternoon, wherever and whenever you may be watching this. Welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights in Tarot. I'm Scott. If you're new here, maybe you've subscribed recently, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. And to all of my viewers and supporters, you've been following me for 2 years now. It's coming up on 2 years. I want to thank you very much for your support and for being here today. Okay, so you may have noticed there are no commercials in this broadcast, and I'm doing that to make it more viewer friendly for you. And somebody mentioned that YouTube it doesn't allow ad blockers now, and and so they can't watch on YouTube because of that. They just don't like the ads, which I understand, and they want me to simulcast on Rumble. And I would love to do that, but I just haven't worked out how to do it yet. Hi, Gigi. Margaret. Nice to see you there. Marcy. No button for reminder. I'm not sure what that means. Like, you mean subscriptions? Hello, Carla. Joy King from Chile, Houston. Thank you for being here. And what am I going to talk about? I didn't prepare any notes for this, and I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. So excuse me if it's not as eloquent and coherent as it could be. And I'm not going to give you a long lecture about the Psy-Op, flat Earth Psy-Op, but I do want to touch on it. Something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. And this is really directed to you, David Fisher. I want you to know that I really appreciate you. Your comments are always very cogent, very thoughtful, and you always give me something to think about. And I appreciate you very much whenever I see you in the chat. And I'm talking to David because, hello, Aaron. I'll get to your question. Okay. Um, so, about flat Earth. I'm not a flat earther. Okay. There was a time when I proudly claimed that label. In fact, I was one of the first people that I know anywhere who openly proclaimed on Facebook for all the world to see that the world is flat and I'm a flat earther, right? Because 10 years ago, that was very novel and there were not very many people uh, who had made this awareness and who would dare to say in public that they were a flat earther. In the early days when I first started researching flat Earth, and it was my intent to prove the spinning globe, and I couldn't do it. And for me, this was a big thing. Like making this discovery was the biggest thing since I had a revelation back in the late 80s about the Catholic Church. And I thought the flat earth was the thing that was going to break the truth wide open, the truth about everything. I thought, okay, this is something that's demonstrable. We can show beyond a doubt that the earth is not a spinning globe. Any reasonable person is going to be able to understand this. And this is going to break the matrix. Because if they can convince you that you're living on a spinning globe, then they can convince you of anything. right? And I gave it 10 years. I remember very clearly telling a friend of mine, yep, that I think that this would enter into the human zeitgeist in about 10 years. And then, like the straw that broke the camel's back, this was going to break everything wide open. State of bliss. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you. Well, I was wrong, okay, about that, and I'm okay to admit that I was wrong. And I was wrong to proclaim that the earth is flat, too. Uh, I no longer like to claim that I'm a flat earther. And there's another reason for that is there's a lot of controlled opposition that was coming into the flat earth community, and to make us look stupid, uneducated to the rest of the world. But let me get into what I mean by the flat earth psyop. Um, does that mean that the Earth is actually a spinning globe, and the CIA came up with this idea just to mess with people's heads? Nope, that's not what I mean by this at all. The Earth is definitely not a spinning globe. That is provable. Okay, for me, by the way, this is my reality. Oh, I'm getting lost in my thoughts here. Um, okay, so what is the psyop? Now, let me back up a little bit. 100 years ago, it was not settled in the scientific realm of about the Earth being a spinning globe. There were a bunch of people that were debating it, and Einstein put that all to rest with his theory of relativity. Now, the powers that be, the cabal, easily could have kept this a secret, right? Because they successfully squashed it back in around the turn of the century, the 20th century. But they saw an opportunity around 2010, I suppose. Actually, it was a little bit after that when this idea caught fire again, and because they knew that a lot of people were waking up and starting to search for truth, and they wanted a way to distract people or to divide people, really. So they did two things. They they pushed some people into the front, people who are truly making this discovery and then bringing it to people. I'm thinking firstly of Eric Dubay. Okay, I met Eric, and even though I don't agree with all of his philosophies, for example, he's a vegan, and he just put a video out about the nature of God that I disagree on. That seems to be a hot topic right now. Um, I do believe that he's a sincere person when it comes to trying to understand the realm in which we live. And I didn't find anything about him to be fake. Okay. And he's very articulate, very intelligent, and he does a really good job of destroying the globe model. Now they could have easily suppressed him. The algorithms that decide what you see on YouTube, they could have easily made him go away, but they didn't. They let him remain. I mean, yes, I know about the attacks and everything, but that just makes him even more credible. Like, he lost his channel, he's been hacked in his websites, all these things. Okay, and then there are people. Well, I don't want to name other names in a derogatory sense, but then there are other people who are obviously controlled opposition, and they would say really illogical things like um, the warmth of the earth doesn't come from the sun; it comes from from underneath, which is just ridiculous. And I mean, anybody who's been outside on a hot summer day, right, when there's some big clouds in the sky, when when the clouds part and the sun's hitting you, you feel the heat. When the clouds cover the sun, you feel cool, right? So it was just things like that. So what the psyop is to divide people. That's all it is. And this is why I'm talking to you, David Fisher. Um, David doesn't agree with me that the Earth is not a spinning globe. And I haven't spent a lot of time on this, but I started publishing some videos on this channel, questioning the globe. When I first started putting those up there, people got angry. Some people got really angry, and they said, "Stop trying to convince me that the Earth's a globe." And that's not what I'm doing at all. I'm offering you some information. You can look at it and you can decide for yourself. And I don't debate whether the Earth's flat or a globe anymore. That's a dead end, and all it's going to do is make people upset, and you're going to lose friends. And this is why I'm talking to David Fisher. I felt like um, he took something I said personally, and he thought maybe I was uh, being dismissive of him, or there was something about the way I said something, I think, that struck him badly because Honey and I talk about the flat Earth, and we talk about the actual, not the toroid and what could the Earth be. And he sent me some messages or comment. He made some comments. He's like, Cliff High says it's a CIA psyop. And here's the point. I need to cut this short. People like David, they can only see things from their perspective, and it's their perception. I said it for a long time before I ever got into the flat Earth thing. Your perception is your reality. And it's funny because I used to say this before the flat Earth. I used to say if people believe the Earth, like back in the day when people believed the Earth was flat, for all intents and purposes, the Earth was flat. And then people believed it was a globe, for all intents and purposes, the Earth was a globe. It's your perception, it's your individual perception that makes it that way. But I don't think we should cut people out of our lives or ridicule people or not listen to people because they see a round Earth or a flat Earth. There was a time when I used to do that. I called it the litmus test, right? At one point, I was like, okay, he said the Earth is a globe. I'm not listening to him anymore. And I probably missed out on a lot of good information because of that. I feel like David's kind of at that point. So, David, if you watch this, I apologize if I offended you in something I said. I don't debate the flat Earth. For you, in your world, it's a globe, and that's okay. I respect that. I don't. I mean, when I think about what I'm going to say, I have so much more, and then when I sit down, it's hard for me to remember. So I'm going to do what I really came here to do, and that is to answer your questions. First, I'd like to read what A State of Bliss says. That's the beauty of things. We all have our own unique beliefs, and learning to respect others' opinions is living harmonious lives. It's healthy to remain open to information. That's right. And it's not just flat Earth. It's all of these things like religion. Some people still have neither religion and they love their religion. That's fine. I respect that. For me, I don't need that. If that's something you need and you love it, then and it helps you and it's a positive force in your life, that's great. The other thing is all this about identity, whether you identify. A long time ago, I came to the decision that there are very rare occasions where people are born into a body that they don't identify with. Okay. Now, I'm not saying I believe the whole agenda. Like, okay, if you were to listen to mainstream media today, they'd tell you like 50% of the population is some alphabetical letter. It starts with a Q or a B or now. I don't think it's that high. I think it's maybe closer to 10%. But we need to respect people who have these differences. If you're homosexual or if you're, you know, transsexual. I mean, I have clients who are gay. I have clients who have children who are transsexual. And when I talk to them on an individual level, this is something that you must respect. Okay. Now, is there like a brainwashing going on in schools and universities today? Yes. But that's also clouding the problem that there are people that have these differences. And we just need to learn to love and respect everybody for all their differences. And I'm going to end this just by talking to you, David. Um, I hope you come back and listen to my shows and leave your beautiful comments. And I hope you respect me and my beliefs, and I respect you and your beliefs. Okay, well, with that being said, I'd like to get to work here. Um, so I have, I got a Aaron bought me a coffee last week while Honey was on. I'm sorry we didn't get to it when Honey was here, but she took some photographs of the moon, and I have to tell you, Aaron, in the first shot, it looks like where there are streaks of lights. Pardon me. It looks like you just moved the camera, and that's you get light trails. But then another one you have it looks like almost like a blue crystal, and it looks like it could be in the shape of a human body. And you're asking who or what that was. So I'm gonna dive into that. And while I'm doing this, I'd like to request that if you have a question for the cards for me, that you could go over to my Buy Me a Coffee site and purchase 2 coffees for your question. Help me reach my goal this week. Things are still very slow for me. I had just one client last week, one client the week before that, and I really need at least 3 to pay the bills, basically, and I'm short of that. This week, I need about 20 coffees to get me to my goal. All right. So if you feel inclined, if you have a question for the cards, please go to the description, click on the Buy Me a Coffee site, purchase 2 coffees, and send me your question via email. This one's for Erin about the blue figure that came up in her photograph of the moon. Okay. Let's take a look. And I'd like you to write your comments. What do you think about this flat Earth Psy-Op? Do you think it was something that the CIA allowed to happen to divide us? That's what I think. I'm glad I learned the information, but oh wow, devil! I wasn't expecting this, Aaron. A tower. Well, and lovers. Okay, Honey said the veil would be thin, and that's what I think we have going on here. So for some people, they're now able to see things that have been hidden to us. Blue. I wish I had that picture here to look at again. You know, so let me just put it this way, Aaron. If I were you, I would I would do something to protect yourself. This doesn't look like a positive entity. Something that's attached itself to you from your childhood. Okay. Um, Something that comes from maybe it's from a a dark past life that you had, and for some reason it's bleeding over into this life. So I think it would benefit you to address that entity. Go out, look in the direction where you saw it, and tell it that it's no longer welcome here. That this is an aspect of yourself that you no longer want to in this life. State of bliss. Thank you for the super sticker. That helps. Um, so this is something that I think you need to recognize and then tell it that it's no longer welcome here. Okay, because this is something an attachment from a past life, maybe where a darker life that you lived. We've all had these dark lives that we've lived, and it's attached itself to you in this life. So if I were you, I would do something to, or yeah, I would maybe get some sage and then talk to it, tell it it's no longer welcome here, and to ask it to leave. Okay. Thank you very much for the super stickers. So you might be looking for the super chats. I disabled super chats because um, I'm. It's kind of hard to explain. With YouTube, I get paid once a month. With Buy Me a Coffee, I'm able to get paid once a week, and I'm basically trying to get a paycheck right now on Buy Me a Coffee. So if you have a question for me, go in the description, click on the Buy Me a Coffee link, send me an email through that, and I'll answer your question there. In the meantime, if you have questions that you'd like to put in the chat, maybe you don't have $10. I understand that, but you have a burning question. That's something that you really would like an answer for. I'd like to be able to help you. Put that in the chat. Oh, I also want to make you aware that yes, things are very slow for me right now. It's always like that this time of year after Christmas, New Year's. People don't have a lot of money for things like tarot card readings. So I'm going to make a special offer. If you go to my website and click on the special offer, you'll see um, that for this week only, I have 3 spots. That's what I need to reach my goal this week. 1 hour for $50, and this is for all first time clients. So if you're someone who maybe you've been watching me for a while and maybe you've been thinking about getting a tarot card reading, maybe you've never had one before and you just didn't want to spend that money, I'm giving you a discount now, $50 for 1 hour. I think it'd be hard to find anything more affordable than that. So What do you guys think? Oh, that was oh, hi Sima. I also want to talk about the Sasia a little bit. Now, I did get a little bit triggered when I first talked about this before Honey came on and people were saying, "Oh, I got to skip the commercials," and there's always somebody trying to sell me something. First off, I'm a terrible salesperson. I've never been good at sales. I've never done sales because I'm not good at it. But when Frank reached out to me and asked me to become an associate, and I thought this was a good idea. I learned about ASEA from Catherine Edwards. If you don't know Catherine, you should check out her channel. She does great work, great videos about enlightenment, ascension, health. Um, but she's the first one I saw talking about ASEA, and I looked into it and I thought, wow, there's really something here. And then when Frank told me about it, I really did a lot of research on it. And I've been, like I said, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I am trying to educate people. And I know that there's a lot of people out there with health issues. I I get them all the time in my questions for the cards. So if you're somebody who has health issues, but you don't want to go to a regular doctor, or you've been to a doctor and it's not really helping, then what would it hurt to give this a try? Right? Um, this is a new scientific breakthrough, really, in the way that it works. I'm not going to try to explain it now, but I am going to post a video later on where a scientist, a doctor, can tell you about it. State of bliss. Could you give me a read on housing market? Okay. So many are struggling. It's hard to see that because maybe if I there's a there's an emoji in my way. So many are struggling and displaced, including me. Really? City Bliss, if I knew your name, maybe I could remember your situation, but I can't remember your real name. I will be booked reading with you this week. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Um, you thank you for saying I'm fantastic. I appreciate that. I have a hard time taking compliments, but I'm gonna graciously accept that. Fantastic. I kind of like a fantasy. Could you give a read on the housing market? So I'm looking at your question here. So many are struggling, displaced, including me. I'm not sure what your question is there, but why don't we, why don't I do it this way? So there's a lot of people out there struggling with housing. It's so expensive. To be honest with you, it's one reason why I came to live in Thailand. My rent, you know why my goal per week is $150? Because that's what my rent is. I pay $150 a week for this house. It's very small, it's old, it's run down. It's not the best place. It's hard to cool down because the walls are so thin. I mean, I can literally see through my living room wall. I can see daylight through it. Hi, Lacy Blue. Affordable housing. So this is what I want to do. I want to look at housing for humanity in the coming years. That's the way I'm going to look at it. And we'll say in the next year. So a lot of us are 100% invested in the idea that something's going to happen where the world is going to change, the economy is going to change, and everybody who is going to be taken care of. Let me just do a read on that and see what it's going to look like. It's kind of a big question, very broad question, very general question, but it's an important one. Okay. Queen of Swords. So immediately we have a king and a queen. This is telling me sovereignty. Kings and queens don't have to worry about their housing, and neither will we. And another queen. Wow. And this is another court card. So court cards are families, right? It's the extended family. Justice and the Ace of Wands. So this this Two of Swords is like it means that a third party is going to come in and set things to right. But right now, humanity at some level, I believe this is the alliance, is in control of like humanity itself. So this is humanity taking responsibility for itself, bringing justice for all the people who have been homeless, and even people who have homes but their living standards are subhumans. Like I've been to Nepal, I've been to the Philippines. I have people living down the street who live in very difficult conditions. So this is humanity taking back our sovereignty. And as I said before, kings and queens and princes, uh, they're not homeless. And yes, justice is being done, but with this too, it may take a couple of years yet before we get to a place where everybody will have a home. But it's time for humanity to step up uh, and be our own saviors, be our own rulers, right? So, like I said, this is a very big general question, so I'm giving a very general answer. Main thing is justice. There's going to be a time when everybody who wants to be settled into a house will be. Some people don't want that. Some people like the freedom. Thank you, Lacey Blue. Nice to see you here in the chat too. Your daughter wants to know. There is a word I can see. If she was my mother in a past. Oh, I love that question. You know, that's one I get a lot. I often get family members swapped roles. Intuitively, I felt that with my father. I felt like like I had been the father in the previous life, and this one I was meant to be the child. Okay, Lacey Blue. She wants to know if she was once your mother. Your daughter wants to know if she was once your mother in a past life. And what did that look like? Okay, Lacey Blue is for your daughter. Is she there watching with you now? Okay. This is you now, your daughter now, as the child. Hmm. Okay, so this is going to sound a little bit strange. That's the sense you have that you were at least the parent. So you weren't your mother's daughter, or I'm sorry, you weren't your mother's mother, but you were your mother's father in a past life. Uh, yeah, and as the father in your past, as your mother's father in a past life, you very much wanted to keep her safe. That's what a father's role is, to keep their children safe. And he, you didn't feel as a father in that past life you were able to do, like, for some reason you didn't complete that mission. Maybe you passed away too soon, or maybe you were, as the father of that past life was working so much, and he may have had like a drinking problem, that you weren't that a good father. So you opted to take the role of daughter so that you could at least be there to help and protect your mother in this life. It sounds really strange, I know, but this is what I'm getting here. So I'd like to know, how does that feel? I mean, you probably had the sense that you were a parent, and because you're female, you thought, okay, well, I must have been the mother in that past life. But I'm here to tell you, you were actually the father in that past life, and I'd like to know how that resonates with you. Does that make any sense to you at all, or is that just yeah? So it's really interesting. Okay, thank you for that, Lacey. And I really enjoy those kind of questions. Anybody else have out there have questions like that? That's my favorite kind of thing to answer. And I got goosebumps now, because when I get that rush of goosebumps, I know that I feel confident that I gave you the proper answer there. So I'd love to get feedback from your daughter on that. Okay, guys. Let me see. Go over to check my coffees, make sure I didn't miss. Oh yeah, no, I do have a question in my coffees that I have to do. I got that while I was sleeping. And this is from Sarah. Sarah, this is your question, or your answer. Let's see. The time is 9:43. So I'll type this in the chat, Sarah. If you're not watching now, I'll put where you can find the answer to your question. So I'm not going to get into the personal things right there, but your question is, am I destined to find another partner in the future? Okay. Last time I had Honey on, she said that she thinks that marriage will become a thing in the past as we evolve spiritually. That really resonated with me, since I'm someone who's never been married. I like to think, oh, I'm way in advance. I already figured that out. But actually, I wanted to be married from the time I could remember. We even had a faux wedding with the when I was 7. There was a little girl who lived in the neighborhood that I lived in that I was in love with, and our brothers performed a wedding ceremony when we were 7. So, but I was heartbroken when I was 12, and she told me, "Scott, we're never going to get married." Not really. Okay, so Sarah, this is for you. Am I destined to find another partner in the future? Now, you say partner, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get married, but I know what you mean. Okay, Sarah, this is for you. Hope you get the answer that you're looking for. I don't like having to tell people they're meant to be alone their whole lives, though sometimes that happens. Oh, wow. Well, there you go. I can stop the reading right now. So that's a yes to unconditional love. I know from what you said in the rest of the email, I did want to read it because it's kind of personal, but you did not have unconditional love from your your husband because you're married. I'm not sure if you're divorced yet. Look at that. And you need to know, Sarah, that you are a beautiful woman. Okay. Some people aren't able to see that in themselves. They can't see their own beauty. And the universe wants you to know that you are a beautiful woman. You're a wonderful mother, and you are deserving of the kind of love that is unselfish and unconditional. Okay, and you are definitely going to find that. Um, that's a double yes. So this is someone who's going to share your passion and also share your thinking, your understanding, and give you a new beginning. Now, this won't be a hot and heavy, like passionate, um, you know, sexually charged type of love. I'm not saying that there won't be, that an intimate element to it, but it won't be so much a physical thing as it will be heart and soul and mind. The sense of loss that you have now is not going to last forever. Okay, and it's going to happen. You're going to meet this person, and it's going to be a surprise to you the way you meet them. It'll happen at a time and place that you wouldn't expect. Okay, um, but good news for you, Sarah, and I'm very happy to tell you that there is somebody out there who's unconditional love for you. Uh, because I have had readings before for people, and in this, they say the cards say in this lifetime you're just meant to do it on your own, right? Okay. Thank you for that question. I loved it. Let's see. Kathy Weir. Hi, Scott. Finally caught you live. I'm glad you could be here. I have a question. Up until my daughter was 4, she spoke her own little language. Was she speaking a light language? All right, this is interesting. Now, I want to give my opinion on light languages. When I see people doing it, to me it seems like nonsense. Okay, they make these funny sounds that nobody can understand, and somebody else interprets it. But I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and I had this memory from when I was a child, and I used to lie in bed. I was an insomniac up until I started smoking cannabis. But I would lie in bed as a young child, like prepubescent, and I would have these original thoughts. To me, I thought they were original. And one of the thought I had was, what if somebody strung together a string of sounds and syllables that had never been uttered before? Now, mind you, I'm like 9 or 10 when I'm having this thought. That it's almost like it would, I don't know, break the matrix, or of course I didn't think that way, but it was like to utter a sound that's never been uttered in all of human lifetimes. So I'd like think back all the humans who came before me, and then suddenly, am I lying there in bed? I'd go, and then I'd stop and go, wow, those sounds have never been uttered before. I just said something that's never been said before. And as I was telling my friend this, I said, I wonder if I was speaking light language back then. So I am more open to it. And let's see, is that something that is that what baby talk is? Is baby talk light language? And but particularly for you and your daughter, Kathy, is that what was going on? I know everybody loves to listen to babies do their little baby talk. It's always very cute. Saw a video just the other day like that. So let's see. This is in general, do babies speak light language? And in particular, Kathy, where was your daughter at the age of 4 speaking light language? Well, I don't get anything that says this is a resounding yes. But what it seems like is so light language must be something different. But what I think it is baby talk is there's this time in a baby's life when they may have some residual memories from past lives. This 10 things that they weren't able to say before they passed away in their former life, but now it's a way of letting go of a past life so that they can come in and start a new life. I don't know. I'm just saying the words as they come to me as I look at the cards. But this isn't light speech as we know it, as the people. So, like, there are people out there, and despite my skepticism about light speech, I believe there are people out there who are able to do this light speech, and then other people can understand it. So, for example, if they heard your daughter doing that light speech, they wouldn't be able to interpret it because this is uh, another language that's carried over from past life. Okay. And it just, it made sense to them in that past life, but it doesn't make sense in this life. Okay. I was hoping for something a bit more romantic there. Romantic and fantastical is what I mean by that. Okay, 77 X Wild, thank you very much for being here. By the way, guys, I'm going to wrap this up in 5 minutes. Okay. Please, should I meet up with my cousin who is coming to my town to visit, or will I put myself in danger if I do? Thank you. All right, that's a good question. So instead of doing yes or no, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to look at how would it go if you were to meet up with your cousin? Would it be dangerous? Vic 2E, you say it's so amazing that you're able to help people in this way. it is amazing, and I feel so blessed to have this opportunity to earn a living, pay my bills by helping people in this way. Um, this medium is not ideal. I much prefer meeting people face to face. I'm able to do much more. I can get much deeper into giving them the answers they need when I'm able to do faithful Zoom face to face, anyway, virtual face to face. But yes, Vic, it is amazing, and I am very blessed and very grateful that I'm able to do this. Uh, okay, 77 next wild. What's going to happen? What would happen if you were to go meet your cousin? Okay, so this is you. You're on the fence, right? Obviously, from your question, should I go or should I stay? So I'm assuming from your question that you've had some run-in with them in the past that that was like a conflict, right? So I can tell you that whatever it is, whatever the issue was you had with your cousin in the past, is something that they've been able to let go of. Okay, because they're coming up as the Ten of Swords. So they're ready to move on, either to forgive you, or it probably wasn't you, or to make amends and to find justice for whatever it was in the past that had you fighting. Okay, you see, we've got the Five of Wands that's upside down, so it's time for this conflict to come for an end. And Temperance is coming together of two things that can combine together and find compromise and to form a new way to go forward. Okay, so according to these cards, it would be a good thing to meet your cousin and to put any past conflict to rest, and to find mutual ground where you can both agree or maybe agree to disagree. All right. So I think it would be a healing, and it would be a healing thing for you. Um, who asked that question? Uh, that was 77 X Wild. I think it would be a healing thing for you, and I think it's something that you should do. Um, hold on, there's some one card here I want to dig more deeply into because I'm not. It's your advice, and I'm not quite sure what it means. So I'm going to look at my notes here real quick. It's this card. Okay, this militant looking, coming on like gangbusters kind of card. I'm going to dig into it a little bit more here. That is, well, the first thing it means is taking action. So this means that, yes, get up off your sofa and go to meet them. Um, you want to be assertive. So don't go into the meeting in a meek and mild way. You, they're the one who's ready to surrender, and I mean, you don't be aggressive, but don't be wishy washy. Don't show a weak exterior. Be assertive. Use thought and intellectual discourse. Right. Don't allow your emotions to dictate the how what you say. Be brave. It sounds like there's some fear that you have about meeting this person. You have to be brave. You have to put on the armor of a warrior. Okay, and don't be afraid to express your thoughts. And but I think it will be a good meeting for you, and there will be a justice as an outcome as well. Okay, thank you for that. Uh, that was 77X Wild. Cherie, my twins had their own language. Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about this, Cherie. Cherie says my twins had their own language. They used to talk and laugh together, and they were alone in their bedroom. Sounded like German, Russian, and Chinese all rolled together. So that's what I'm talking about. That was a holdover language from another dimension or another life that they were in. Things what sticks out in my mind is that it lasts until she was 4, right? Then suddenly stopped. Same happened with my twins. They just stopped and started to talk English. RS Fitness. I'm getting a new boss in a couple of weeks. Will she be a great boss, or will she be a great boss? Will she stay for a while? Okay, I'll do it. I'm going to do a quick one on this. So I'm just going to draw 3 cards real quick and do it this way. Okay. Where is it? This is for RS Fitness. I'm just going to do it quick. So this is the positive, negative, and advice. The positive thing is she's going to, she's a good organizer. So negative, but I don't think she's going to be sticking around for a while. Okay, so it looks like she's going to come in and kind of whip things, like get things into order and get things working like a well-oiled machine. Um, and and then once she feels like she's gotten things together, it's like, oh, like someone, sometimes companies will do this. They'll get someone to come in and get things going, and then they can leave, and then other people can take over again for, or it'll be a stabilizing effect. So that's what I'm getting here. Um, okay, I gotta. What was that sound I just heard? Okay, so that's a buy me coffee. I'm gonna have to check on that. I'm getting a new boss. That's RS Fitness. Kathy, do you accept any other payment besides Stripe? Um, Kathy Weir, if you mean like for a reading, the only other way that I can be paid is through MoneyGram. Okay. Um, so if you would like a reading with me and you don't or can't use Stripe, actually what I use is Buy Me a Coffee, which uses Stripe, right? If for whatever reason you can't use that, then the only other way I can receive payment is through MoneyGram. Okay. Uh, I heard a Buy Me a Coffee come through. I'll go check that in a minute. Let me just look at the rest of the chat here. Yeah, because of my youngest. Okay, I'm not expecting that. Was not expecting that. Well, he did bad things to me and kids. Yeah, 77 X Wild, people change, you know. So I think it's important that when you meet your cousin, you show strength. Don't show weakness. So you need to keep your shoulders straight, head up high, look them in the eye. Thank you, Willow of Blades. Appreciate that. Great advice. Just three card read. Hi. Okay, now let me check my email because I heard something I'd never heard before. Sound like a Sounded like a ching, and I've never heard that before with Buy Me a Coffee. So I think that's what it is. Yep. Let me see. Someone. Who is this? Hi, Scott. I'm flying to visit my daughter and her new baby January 24th to February 6th. What do the cards want me to know in regards to this trip? I do value you and your readings. Thank you, Joy King. Oh, this is from Joy. Hi, Joy King. Thank you very much. By the way, folks, this is I'm going to end this broadcast after this reading, so please um, don't send any more coffees. And let me get back to here. So this is for Joy on her trip to visit her daughter and her new baby. I hope you're careful. All the bad weather that's happening right now. I'm not sure where you're at. If you're driving someplace that has severe winter storms, make sure you have things to keep you safe in your car, blankets, food, things like that, in case you get stranded. These horrible stories of people getting buried in snow in their cars. Okay, Joy, this is advice. Excuse me. Advice for you going to visit your daughter and new grandbaby. Hey, Joy. Oh, wow. That's a great card. So that's uh, a nurturing mother card, which is perfect for this situation. No worries. Someone just bought three coffees. It's funny. My phone's making this cash register sound every time I get coffees now. It never made that before. It's kind of funny. Okay, so I'm wondering. Okay, so who was this? Was from Joy. Joy, I'm wondering if for some reason your daughter was reluctant for this meeting. Maybe if this is her first child, maybe it was one of those situations where a new mother is worried that her mother, the grandmother, is going to come in and start telling you how to do things and how to be a mother, and maybe she was worried about that. If that's the case, and that looks like it was here, then she's gotten past that. That means she is open now to learn from you as a mother who's has experience, and she can put her ego to the side a little bit, and she'll be ready to listen to you and take your advice. Um, so I think you need to keep this in mind. This is important that you and I'm not saying you do this, but I think this is a common thing where the grandmother wants to come in and It's like, oh, you do it this way and you do it that way. I think you need to try to restrain yourself from that. Okay. Um, Avoid any type of arguments over little things. Like, I don't know, because I've never been a mother, but it's important that she maybe even learn from her own mistakes. Okay. But the overall outcome is any of these worries that you think you may have, and this is also regarding the trip itself, because you put the trip as part of the question. Um, None of your concerns that you have for this trip are going to be a problem for you. Okay. Um, just try not to be like a bossy grandma, who's telling her, oh, do it this way and do it that way. Because that could lead to little arguments that really aren't helpful at this time. Okay. I hope that helps. And I hope it's not far off with that. Okay. So, guys, I want to end this because I have some chores I need to take care of. Let me make sure that I didn't miss any of the buy me a coffee questions. Oh, that looks like that was another one. Okay, I got that one. I'm going to look in the chat. Uh, is there something that I'm missing in the buy me a coffees? Kimberly says, hi, Scott. So good to see you. Can you please tell me what I should be doing with my mother? She got cancer in October. You're in the same boat as me. And she does not seem to put it in any effort getting better. Hope your mom's okay. I just spoke with my sister yesterday, and my mom's doing better. Her markers are down again after another round of chemo. My mother is quite the opposite of what you're describing here. She's fighting hard. She's not ready to go, which is funny because 20 years ago, we would talk about the end. She'd say, I don't care. When it's my time to go, I'm ready to go. And now when she's faced with it, she's like, she's not going, she's not going quietly into that dark night. Um, so Kimberly, let me, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to see where your mother is with this. RS Fitness, have a great day. Uh, RS Fitness, I guess that was coffees for the question that I already did for you. Enjoy King. Yeah, I got your coffee. So tell me in the chat. I want to be very sure that I don't miss anybody's questions. If you sent me questions and buy me a coffee and I missed it for some reason, tell me in the chat. Kimberly says, oh yeah, about my, thank you, Kimberly. So, oh, Kimberly, this card popped out as I was shuffling, um, regarding your mom. Okay, guys, this is going to be the last one. Then I'm going to call it a day. I need to go out and do my chores, take the trash out, clean the kitty litter box, sweep the front of the house. We had rain recently, so the front of the house is a mess. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who is here, my supporters, those of you who are diehard in the chat, putting up with my randomness. And this is Kimberly. Let's see what's going on with your mom. Okay, this is you, Kimberly. And this is your mom. An upside down Kimberly, has your father passed away? Because if that's the case, then I'm wondering, does your mother, do you think your mother has come to a point where she's tired of this world and she wants to be with your father? Did Kimberly, did your mother have a close relationship with your father? And do you think that she would be happily reunited with him in the astral plane? If that's true, then that's what the case here. Um, it seems like when she looks at the pot, she's looking at a fork in the road, right? One is, yeah, fight the cancer and continue down this material world, or is it time to end this story and to join with a man? If it's not her husband who's passed away, then maybe her father who's passed away, or a man who's passed away, and to reunite with that person. Seems like she's had a lot of sorrow in this life. That this Queen of Cups, right? As we all do, but and the Queen of Swords is, it's like an unemotional acceptance of what's to come, and ready to be in a place where you are separated from everything else. In other words, see how she's in the clouds, kind of like heaven. She's ascended above everything, and she's no longer affected by the emotions and the sorrows of the material world. Okay. Um, so now I'm curious. Okay, so you say her husband is there trying hard to take care of her, but he's giving. Oh, okay, Kimberly, I understand that. So this is the father here and now, and he's inverted. So the King of Cups is a healer, and this is reflecting exactly what you just said. He's there trying hard to take care of her, but he's giving up. That's why it's inverted. Okay. All right. And it's also in the present. That makes sense to me. Um, not a close relationship. Okay. So I understand what this means now. She has never liked me. She has never liked me or my dad. I'm thinking you say she's never liked me or my dad much. I would I think it's my granddad. He was a love. Okay. So I'm sorry to hear that you felt that she didn't love you or your dad much. And so, yeah, there could be some of your grandfather energy here too. But no, now that I read your comment, I understand that this is your father. He wants to be there for your mother and heal her, but he's unable to, because really she's ready to move on. Okay, with this world in the middle here and the Queen of Swords, she's had a hard time dealing with her emotions. Maybe that's why she couldn't show you and your father the love that you should have. Okay, but and maybe she's been putting on a brave face for the world that's not her true face. Um, so I think we have to respect our people's choices. I think your mother feels like it's her time to go, and your father's helping, but he's unable to. That's why he's coming up upside down like that. Okay, Kimberly. Um, if I could talk to you and do this in person, I could probably give you a better explanation of these cards. I would like to think it's my granddad. Yeah, that could be. He was a love. Okay, everybody. Listen, thank you very much for being here today. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for the coffees. Thank you for the super stickers. Um, and I hope you appreciated this with no commercials. To the person, I'm going to try to start simulcasting on Rumble and YouTube at the same time. That way, people who don't want to watch ads can use their ad blocker on Rumble. But thank you. Thank you very much for getting me closer to my goal. I think I'm going to get there this week, and I can pay my rent. Let's see. Kimberly, yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Love you, Scott. Thank you. Thank you, Kimberly. Brenda, you're welcome. Brenda says thank you. Willow Blades, awesome night. I'll have a good one. Good readings tonight. Thank you, Cherie. Thank you to everybody. I do my best to give you answers that can ease your mind and heart and soul. Okay? Sometimes I don't feel like I do as good as I should because I'm still learning, and I'm getting better at this all the time. Thank you, Kimberly, for that very generous super sticker. I appreciate that. All right, everybody. So listen, I'll see you next week, hopefully with Honey. Honey will be back. And I promise I won't do any more long ASEA commercials before I start my show with Honey. I know a lot of you people didn't like that, and I can understand why. But I think you should look into ASEA. If you don't buy it from me, you should buy it from somebody else. If you have chronic illnesses, if you're not feeling right, if you're not sleeping well, if you have aches and pains, this product can help you. And I'm not telling you that because I want to get my $10. That's all I get, $10 per case. I'm telling you that because I believe this could make you a healthy, happier person. Honestly, believe that. Okay. So good night, everybody. Thank you for your time. Uh, thank you for being here. Thank you for your wonderful questions. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Thank you, Kimberly. All right. Good night, everybody. Sweet dreams.